Hello, I'm Joe,
And I'm Lydia.
and we're travelling musicians.
Joe is a loop station songwriter and I play keyboard.
We wanted to pursue music properly, but with normal life's chaotic schedules and expenses, it was too hard.
So to make it possible, we decided to convert a van that would cater for the demands of a music business.
And also fit our musician's budget. We are so stoked with Kev, and we are loving living in him. We thought we'd give you guys a full tour so you can see how our musical career has influenced the build of our van, and maybe it will inspire you when you do yours.
This is Kavan and we love him, so let's take a proper look around.
To make this simple for you, we've split the tour into the 5 different spaces Kevan becomes.
There's the living space,
Creative space, storage space,
cooking space and sleeping space.
and you can go to the description and click on each section that you want to see.
So let's have a look at Kev's living space.
Kev's beautiful living space. And if you're a creative like us, you know how hard it is to get motivated in an environment that's disorderly and chaotic.
When we designed Kev, it was imperative that he could be a refuge, a place we love to be in, a restful place.
It was incredibly hard to get this vibe with 7.6 square meters to work with, but here are the things that make Kev so livable. And it all starts with the color scheme. Lydia was the chief designer of our colour scheme. She is gifted in creating beautiful spaces.
I chose a fairly neutral colour palette to avoid overcrowding the small space.
For the ceiling, skirting and bed frame face, we used a white paint colour called Cotton Ball.
Such a small space, the white created a blank canvas.
With the canvas set, we used a stain called Brown Japan for the table, kitchen, cabinetry, bed frame, supports, bookshelf, window frames, curtain rods and room divider.
The stain creates a warm rustic feel and makes it feel like you're in a forest covered with snow.
Best of all, these hits of stain create the feeling of 3 rooms in one. We kept the floor, kitchen bench and floating shelves their natural colour, which added a touch of gold.
So the cushion and curtain colours I wanted to be fairly natural and organic, so I went with a green for the cushion, the seat cushions, and a sandy colour for the curtains.
I think Lydia really nailed the feel in the van. Pretty much in whatever lighting, it always just feels really like a really gentle space. Somehow, even though it's such a small area, we always feel like we have more room than we actually do.
Kev has double sliding doors. We couldn't afford a big air conditioner, but having these doors open creates a huge airflow, which is so delightful.
Everyone who looks at our van is amazed we have double doors. We didn't realise this was a rare feature for campers, but we love it.
It also creates a nice indoor-outdoor feel. We just need some mosquito nets to fit the doors now.
We have 2 sliding windows as well. We had them installed and it was so worth it. It fills the van with light and fresh air. We can open them up fully or lock them partly open if it's too wild to open the doors.
Each section or room in the van operates at a different level, if you will.
You lie down in the bedroom up here. In the living space you sit down, and at the kitchen you stand up to the bench level. It seems like a small thing, but it dramatically helped us create a feeling of multiple rooms in one. And while we're on that topic, we should mention the room divider. It's made out of pallet wood, and it's probably one of my top 5 favourite parts of the van.
Often Joe will work later into the night and I'll be asleep next door in the bed, and it feels like we're in 2 different rooms. A very worthwhile addition that makes the van space feel big.
Naturally, the next livable feature is the sliding table.
The table is kind of the prized centerpiece of the van. We used laminated pine and stained it with brown Japan.
The cool thing about this table is that I can slide it in, say there, if that's where I'd like it for some music practice.
Or we can slide it to right here for meals, or further if we have guests. Or we can slide it all the way in if we're wanting to use this space to get changed or do something else.
Like having a slightly hunched over dance party.
We wired our lights into sections to support that 3 rooms in one feel.
We have kitchen lights, dining room lights and bedroom lights.
We took great care to hide our storage. We only have 6 visible shelves and that's it.
There is nothing that doesn't have an appropriate home in our van, and it helps the whole van feel spacious, like there's actually room for
Of course,
us.
the most important shelf is the bookshelf. which Joe made out of plywood and recycled pallet wood.
We personally love that all of our shelves are floating shelves, and having your books here just to grab and read at night is a really nice little homely touch.
We have a 2.5 metre by 2.5 metre awning for outdoor living.
One of the most aesthetically pleasing parts of the van is the bedroom ceiling. My sister had a vision for using doilies to create a kind of ceiling rose.
And it turned out absolutely stunning. It's those little touches that make us feel like this is actually our home.
It's time to introduce the van as a creative space.
If you've made it this far, you're probably a creative like us.
The creative process can be immensely delicate.
When we made Kev, we knew he'd have to house us for days lost in the creative process. Here's the features that were born with this in mind.
We included a deck on the roof of our van because it's the perfect space to soak in the surroundings while getting creative.
The space is actually bigger than our bed, and with the portable battery system, I can get looping with world-class views.
Our projects are heavily dependent on powered equipment. When we designed Kev, Joe was careful to make sure we had enough battery power and charge going in to let us live off-grid for as long as we want.
Under here is all our battery gear. So we are running two 150 amp hour gel batteries, and we also have two 50 watt solar panel. And we have a Red Arc BC DC 1240 system which connects the alternator and the solar panels, keeps all the batteries topped up all the time. So over by the kitchen we have two cigarette lighter outputs on just 12 volt outputs. We also have a little USB hub here for charging phones and cameras and things, which is great. And then we have our 240 volt power board, which has another two 12 volt outputs and 5 240 volt outputs, and the inverter is just down here. It's a 1500 watt Adventure Kings inverter. It's been really good thus far, and I've got a little voltmeter here so I can keep an eye on the output level of the voltage. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it, but I'm hoping to get soon a app so I can check the battery level. But as far as I'm aware, it's been staying in and around that sort of 100% to 70% level, which has been great.
It's Kev the storage space!
You would have heard the saying that a musician is someone who travels 500 k's in a $500 car or a $50 gig with $5,000 worth of gear. And that probably is true of us in some ways. So we had to come up with a special way of storing our music gear, as our art is quite heavily dependent on technology.
We do have quite a lot of gear for busking and media, so good storage is essential.
I made this big drawer specifically to house as much of our music and media gear as possible. And if it doesn't fit...
So for extra musical bits, we've got the boot. So in here we keep like busking batteries and things. We've got my speaker, keyboard stand, guitar stand, microphone stand, guitar, keyboard, everything.
And we purposely built the boot as big as we possibly could without it causing the mattress to cover the window.
Yeah, so the dimensions are, oh, bit of thunder. The cavity is 85 centimeters deep in this middle section and deeper on the ends. And it is 1.7 meters across and 650 mils high, so it's plenty of storage.
It's also the perfect place for us to keep things we don't use very often, such as our bush camping gear, our tools, our winter clothes, our ladder, and sport gear.
Like this. Yay. So what you're seeing here, folks, is a custom-made boot shelter. So if we want to risk it, keep the boot open while we sleep, people don't know that there's too much crazy stuff in here.
It also protects it from dust and rain. It's blockout curtain material.
Alrighty. So something very important with shoe storage, because shoes obviously get really dirty and we want them accessible easily but without getting all the dirt inside the van. So I just made this little shoe rack. I'll show you how it works. Slidey slide slide. Slidey slide slide. That way we can get our shoes easily from inside the van.
Hands down, the most innovative storage compartment in our van is this little section above the cab.
Yeah, so for 7.6 square meters, this is some really valuable storage. So we use this just to keep some dry foods that we buy in bulk, like milk or pesto or shapes, and also board games and also a bit of linen.
So these are our box seats that double as our clothes storage. So we have these little felt boxes to partition off different sections within the box.
And we also keep our toiletries in here as well. And we definitely both had to get rid of a few bits, put things into op shops, but thus far it's worked really well.
We found the perfect spot for our water.
We did. So back here we have one of our 20-litre water canisters, and we have another one behind the driver's seat, and then we have one that is plumbed into the tap. So we have 60 litres of drinking water at maximum capacity, which usually lasts us
6 days.
6 days if we're really careful, which is good.
So we also have this top drawer with all our study gear like laptops, glasses, pens, power cords, etc.
And we have this middle drawer, which we just have a bunch of books, extra book storage, and also our blockouts for the windows.
Finally, we store our gas bottle and surfboards on the roof. And here's how we get them down.
Who's hungry?
It's Kev, the cooking space!
Welcome to Kev's kitchen. I made this almost entirely with some help.
And it's amazing. She did a crazy good job. I think we both just feel like whenever we use the kitchen, we have way more space than we need. It's perfectly laid out and it looks great. Lydia's a genius.
We have 2 floating shelves made out of pallet wood, and we use them to store mugs when we've stopped.
We were very close to getting a stainless steel splashback, and we stumbled into one last tiles store and came across these beautiful tiles. They are called Caravel and they're by Southern Cross Ceramics, and we got them in the eucalypt colour with the gloss finish.
Next we have our beautiful bench top with our tiny little sink. It's so cute. The tap style is called Glypen and it's from IKEA. And the sink is just your classic caravan sink from eBay.
So moving on down under our sink, we have the plumbing and also where we store our cleaning products. Yeah, in it we just have classic cleaning products, dishwashing detergent, clothes detergent, rags, etc.
And back up against the wall in this section we have a Seaflow 12-volt water pump, and it pumps at 13 litres per minute. And yeah, it's worked great thus far. It's nice and quiet and we get a really strong flow of water.
Here's what we do to change over our water. As you've already seen, to get the grey water out, I undo the S-trap and empty the water in a bush somewhere, because we use biodegradable dishwashing liquid and it's just grey water that's good to go back into nature. To change over our fresh water, I first disconnect the old tank from the hose, and then I set the new tank on its side and undo the nozzle. As you can see, I went the wrong way for a bit there. And then I connect the hose and set that bad boy up, and she's ready to go.
This is our Bushman 65 litre fridge.
We love this little fridge. It's got loads of innovation. You can choose which side you want the door on. The door has adjustable compartments. There are plenty of options for shelf placement, and it has this cool little 6-litre freezer section.
Whenever we get back from going shopping, we worry that we won't be able to fit everything in the fridge, but we always do. We always have enough room and often an excess of room. So if we fill this fridge, we can live off of it for about a week before we need to restock.
Now for our kitchen drawers and cabinets. And first up is just your classic cutlery drawer.
In this section we have our pantry part 1. The main things stored in here are spices, tea and coffee, and also the gas cooker.
In the pantry part 2, we fit items that can't fit in the pantry part 1.
In this drawer we have pots, bowls, pans and the like.
Because we don't have an exhaust fan, we try and do all of our cooking outside unless the weather is terrible. To do this, we use this awesome slide-out bench that Lydia made.
Welcome to Cavan, the sleeping space. We always get a great night's sleep.
This is our bed, and the mattress we chose is a natural latex mattress. It's 100mm thick and it's been really comfy so far. We had it custom cut.
And Lydia found these pillows
are made out of kapok, and they've been really good thus far as well. Something interesting is that we sleep crossways in the van. So it's 1.68 meters across, and I am 1.69 meters tall. So I do have to sleep slightly diagonally, but it's been fine. It's been a really good fit, and I think we've both been sleeping really well.
Finally, some honourable mentions.
So this little unit here is a bit of a lifesaver. It's an Evercool 12 volt evaporative air conditioner. I think the model is called the Everchill. So basically you just pour some cold water into a little cavity in the back here, and it's a fan, and it has some bits of material that get wet with the cold water and blow some cool air. So obviously in humid conditions it's not going to work in the top of Australia, but it's been really helpful in some drier, hotter days down in WA.
Check out this groovy little hat hook. We love having some artwork from home. And of course, pot plants, and more pot plants.
Whoa, thanks for joining us for our tour of our little home, our little cabin. Really hope you've enjoyed it. We are about to start a busking adventure all around Australia, trying to work out how we can live as performers, and we would love it if you keep following us. You can check us out on Instagram and Facey. All of the links are in the description. Yeah, but keep on following the adventure, because this little home is just beginning.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We love you heaps, and we're looking forward to seeing you in our next video.
Bye!